Hey there YouTube, welcome to the ACH Automotive channel. Was going to work on the Mazda today. Unfortunately, a couple of things. It's looking like it's going to rain outside, so I don't want to kick the F-150 out. Bought a bunch of front end parts for it, lots to do, but I forgot to buy the sway bar bushings, so I'm going to order those, and then we're going to put a new exhaust system on it because the flanges on the current exhaust system are shot and it's starting to leak a little bit. So because we have to drop the rear part of the subframe on it, I'm going to hold off another weekend and get the rest of the parts that I need so we can just do it all in one shot. So I think today, instead of working on the Mazda, we're going to work on the Mustang. I have a ton of parts that I bought from LMR over the last month or so, enough to get this front end all back together and make it look like a car again. So let's start. The first thing I'm going to do, I've already got the bumper cover off. I'm going to pull the fenders back off. I've got new hood supports, shocks, instead of the bar, so we're going to put those in place to hold the hood up. I've got brand new Fender Wells. We're going to finish mounting the sway bar up as well, because it's just hanging out there. And I don't know where I put the bracket to show you real quick, but I got the bracket to move it forward a little bit to compensate for the Maximum Motorsports A-arms that we put in. So let's get started. So these bolts right here, you can see these are the ones we've got to get out. This one I can probably still get a pair of pliers on. This one's pretty broken flush off, so we might have to drill this guy out. I did soak them in Croil. I'm going to try my mini ductor venom, and then we're going to take a pair of pliers and see if I can back that one out. I can get to the back side of it, so we might be able to wiggle it free from the back side. And you can see over here this is the offset bracket, because I have the Maximum Motorsports front end and tubular K-member in this car, and the end links no longer line up to where they're supposed to line up. The Maximum Motorsports, these A-arms push the wheel forward about 3/4 of an inch, if I remember. So they don't line up. And there's one of two ways you can fix that. You can get these brackets from Maximum Motorsports, or you can actually get, and I can't find it anymore, they make an adjustable sway bar. It was like $500 or $600, and that's the only piece I'm missing to have a pretty much full Maximum Motorsports front end on this car. So we're going to try and get that piece back together. We're going to try and get those two bolts out of that lower fender. I have all brand new hardware that I bought from LMR. You can see I've got quite the stockpile here. New shift boot, new lower shift boot ring. I think this is the hardware for the shift boot. This is a new shift bezel, because it all came as a package, and these guys are actually glued. I think in the original ones they're somehow glued or fit to the trim ring, so I just bought a whole new trim ring. This kit, I believe, is the kit that will mount the front end, or the bumper, back to the front end. So all brand new hardware, because I was terrible as a young guy for marking what bolts went where. So I just bought a whole bunch of brand new bolts and hardware kits. I don't remember what those are for. These are spare fender bolts, speed nuts, also I believe for the fenders. These are, I don't remember what those are for. There's a whole bunch of new boot, because mine was ripped for the top of the transmission. Clips for the headlights. More hardware. I got to go back and look at what all these part numbers are for. There's also hardware to put the Fender Wells back in. These are brand new Fender Wells, because the ones that came out of the car, I wasn't happy with the quality of them. They were pretty beat up. And then these are the hood struts for holding the hood up instead of using the manual lever, or not lever, but the pole. And then that is for the back half of the car. We can move that back here. I am completely out of space for tools. My toolboxes are just jam-packed full of stuff. My shelves are full of stuff. I only have so much room to work out here, so it's kind of getting frustrating. I'm hoping to be able to start breaking ground on a shop in the spring. You know, so we'll see what happens with that. But I got brand new Cobra style headlights. I have so many parts that I just bought for this car, so I really need to get moving on it. This I have been eyeing for a while. It is the FR 500 steering wheel. It was like a $300 steering wheel. Pretty stoked to have it. That's another headlight. I have brand new marker lights here too, because mine they had overspray on them. Brand new. That's for the back. That's a fuel filter harness, or fuel filter bracket. So lots of work to do on the car. I just need to get to it. So the only things that I am missing, I think at this point, I'm hoping to get a short throw shifter before I put this stuff back in, and then it will be, you know, coming back up here to the front. Obviously you can see my engine is still in pieces, and it's been sitting here for a while. So the big pieces I'm missing for this are the camshaft, which I'm hoping to go with a comp cam style camshaft, and then I need new push rods, rockers, lifters, pretty much the whole valve train. I think I have a new timing chain set for it, and then the block itself can go back together. I have all the parts to rebuild the supercharger. I've just got to do it. This is a steering rack that I rebuilt, and I don't like how it came out because it just didn't, I just don't like it. I'm not happy with it. So I'm hoping to be able to find a new steering rack for it. And one thing, I know the tire is flat. I have, let me see if you can see through on the other side, I have a bump steer kit on it, and that bump steer kit does not fit with these stock V6 rims. It hits it. Matter of fact, you can see just from rolling it around, there's a scrape mark in the rim. So I need to get bigger rims. These tires are shot. I did buy new tires for these rims to roll it around, but I haven't gotten around to putting them on, and I'm gonna end up changing the rims anyway. So let me get some more tools out. Let's see if we can get those bolts out, and maybe at least we could get this corner back together today. That would be really, really cool. Oh, you know what? This might be foam in there. Nope. We're probably gonna end up having to drill that out. Oop. Nope. That's in there pretty good. So I wasn't able to use my mini ductor to get it out. There's just not enough there to heat it up enough. So I ended up tapping it, drilling it, or drilling it and tapping it. And I have the back bolt out. I have the back bolt out. I'm just backing my tap out here. And then we'll move back to this front bolt and see if we can get that out. Trying to do this one. There we go. Okay. See if our bolt goes in there. It should. There we go. Perfect. Alright, one down, 3 to go. This is the bolt, the front bolt that I pulled out. You can see I got it pretty good down the center. I did break a couple of bits towards the edge where this went, the bolt went narrow. I'm not sure if I did something wrong, but we got it out, pulled it out, cleaned the threads up. Let's see under here. Hopefully the light's probably blinding you, but we got that portion cleaned up there. We got the two bolt holes clear. I can put the fender back on. I've got to find one speed screw here, and we can put the fender back on and work on getting the we'll probably move over to the other fender, but I also have the rivets to hold this crash bar back on, so we'll put that back on. And I've got to find the hood latch bracket, which is around my messy shop somewhere here, and basically going to work on getting the front nose of this car back together so it's starting to look like a car again. Those bolts took a lot longer than I planned, and I still got to move over to the other side and do the other side. So that's probably we're going to call it for today. We'll come back another day. Okay, we got the passenger side. Get the passenger side fender off. I've got to come down here and drill out these two bolts just like we did on the other side, because they are fairly rusted in there. Well, they snapped and they're fairly rusted in, so we'll drill those out. And we've got a bunch of stuff to do up here. I'm hoping once I get those drilled out, we'll get the fenders installed and start putting the nose back together. I've got rivets to hold the crash foam on, and I want to put the hood struts on, see if I can do that. I might try and do that before I put the fenders on. I gotta look and see how they go on. These are the pneumatic hood struts I ordered from LMR, manufacturer's MRT, part number 80D000. Let's open them up, take a look. Plates. I'm gonna guess these have to probably go on after the fenders. So this looks like a pretty simple install. These, this is the right hand one, it's got an R on it. They're gonna go just like this under the hood here, at least from looking at the instructions. Same thing with the left hand side, and then the bracket's gonna go under one of these bolts here. So yeah, it'll have to go in once the fenders go on. I'm probably going to tack them in place just temporarily because I don't like the way this hood bar is right now. It's just sitting here, and I'd like the hood open so I can work on stuff. While we're working on getting these bolts drilled out, let's power wash some of the front components here. Overall, that stuff took a lot of the grease and grime off. Bumpers look pretty darn good. I'm kind of kicking myself because this bumper, the back bumper, has a patch on it somewhere underneath that I didn't know about. You can't see it from the outside. Kicking myself because I had a perfectly good bumper off my parts car that I just got rid of recently because I was sick of tripping over it and didn't figure I was ever going to use it because the bumper on the car was in pretty good shape. So we'll see. Maybe I'll leave it alone or get another one. Right now it's in pretty good shape, just enough to put back on the car. But if I were to ever, when I do get the car painted, whether I reuse this rear bumper or not, and even the front one's not really, the front one's not too bad. Body guy might be able to fix that little spot right there and see if that, I might be able to clean that up, although that's really the only spot on the front bumper that's bad. So these are cleaned up enough, so I got all the dirt and grime off, so we should be good to go on these guys. All right, let's get a couple of tools. I'm just gonna put these hood struts on for now, just to hold up the hood. is probably gonna be in the way. There we go. All right, we got one held on. Everything is the other side. Ball goes outward. We'll pull one of these bolts. The top bolt will pull all the, or the nut will pull all the way. The bottom one just slides in. That on there. Again, these will have to come off when I put the fenders back on. This is just to temporarily hold the hood up for now and get a box out of my car. There we go. We have the MRT hood struts in on the Mustang. Again, they're temporarily on there. These brackets will have to get moved when we put the fender back on, but you can see that the hood is staying up by itself right now, which is really cool. So it's that'll help with putting the car back together, so I don't have to hit that pesky bar that's there. And you can see it closes pretty nice. We'll probably have some alignment issues to deal with at some point, just because the hood is just kind of been put back on there. So I guess the next step will be to get back over here and drill that bolt out. I think there's actually a charcoal canister that I'm missing for over here that I'm thinking about now. So I might have to either find that or buy one. But there's not, I don't think there's really anything stopping me from putting this side back together. So I think at this point we'll get those bolts drilled out and get rolling. We're making the initial drill through this front bolt here. Let's use a little lubricant to keep things cool and clean. Let's find our spot. There we go. That's what it looks like so far. We're gonna drill with a small drill bit and work our way up each time until we get all the way through, and then we'll put a we'll use a tap on the rest of it to get the rest of the broken. Got the two bolts drilled through. The back sides broke off, so we've got to probably take an easy out here, and I got to see if I can get them out. They're basically drilled right through. I don't know if the camera will focus on that or not. Once we get those out, then I can tap them and make sure the threads are good. Camera won't pick up on it, but the lower bolt holes have been drilled out, re-tapped, tested the bolts, and it fits great. Or bolts, the bolts go in it no problem. So pretty much we can work on putting the fenders back on. I have to see if I can find, I believe this is my charcoal canister for the evap system. And once we do that, once I find that, and I can actually probably put that on after, we should be able to put the fenders back on, bolt the bumper back, and start to bolt the bumper back up. Well, I found my charcoal canister, so we're gonna throw that back on. Guess we're probably gonna end up ending this video just because there's a lot of snow out there, heavy wet snow. Probably gonna lose power because my lights keep going in and out. We got our charcoal canister back in place. I've got the bolts drilled out and tapped underneath here for the fender. So I think what we're gonna do, and I probably should have got a little ahead of myself and put these hood struts on. I think we'll end this video by getting this fender back bolted in place and seated on the car, and then in the next video we'll work on buttoning up the other side. I have brackets for the sway bar to reposition it. I've got rivets to put on the crash foam and get that all dialed in, and the crash sensors to put back on. There's a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of little odds and ends of things just to get this car back to, well, the front half of this car somewhat back together. All right, guys, well, that's where I'm going to call it for this video. We got the fender back on. I've got to adjust it. It's not aligned by any means, but my power keeps flickering because of all the snow out there. So made pretty good progress. Got the 2 lower bolts drilled, got the hood struts in, got the fender back on, the evap canister in, found a bunch of parts to start putting the other corner of the car back together. So I'm hoping in the next video we will have the rest of the nose put back together, at least loosely enough to say, hey, it's a car and has a nose again. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave me a comment, something you want to know about the build. Been a little while since I've done a video, a lot going on here personally, so trying to spend some time working on the car. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe below, and stay tuned for the next video.